The midday sun beat down on Dusty Gulch. The air was thick with dust and despair. The silence was often broken by the echoes of gunfire. The Rattlesnake Riders had made the town their own. Eliza Black Widow McGraw was their leader. She was a woman of ruthless ambition. Her stare could make the bravest man tremble. Her gang terrorized the town, stealing, fighting, and leaving a trail of fear in their wake. The townsfolk were desperate. They were good people, hard-working and honest. But they were no match for the Rattlesnake Riders. The law was absent, and they were losing hope. Fear hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. The townsfolk whispered prayers for a miracle. They yearned for a savior, someone to stand up to Eliza and her gang. Little did they know their prayers were about to be answered. One hot afternoon, a lone figure rode into Dusty Gulch. His silhouette was framed against the blinding sun. A palpable tension gripped the town as he approached. The stranger dismounted. He was tall and lean, with eyes as sharp as a hawk's. His face was weathered and tanned, etched with the lines of a life lived under the open sky. He carried a Colt revolver, worn but deadly, on his hip. His name was Sam Colt, though few knew it then. He was a former lawman, a skilled bounty hunter, and a man of few words. He had a reputation that preceded him. He was known to be as quick as a rattlesnake and as unforgiving as the desert sun. Sam had come to Dusty Gulch for one reason: to restore peace. He had heard tales of the Rattlesnake Riders and their reign of terror. He had seen enough injustice in his lifetime. He wouldn't stand for it here. The news of Sam's arrival spread through Dusty Gulch like wildfire. The townsfolk watched him, their faces a mixture of hope and apprehension. They had seen their share of heroes, only to be disappointed. Sam walked towards the saloon. It was the Rattlesnake Riders' usual haunt. The doors swung open with a loud creak. The sound was like a death knell in the tense silence. Inside, Eliza and her gang were gathered around a table, their laughter loud and boisterous. Sam's entrance silenced them. All eyes turned to him. The air crackled with tension.
Well, stranger, you certainly know how to make an entrance.
Her hand rested casually near her own revolver. Sam replied, his voice calm but firm. He met Eliza's gaze without flinching. S1. I aim to please, ma'am.
But my business ain't pleasure, it's justice. This town deserves peace, it deserves to live free from fear. You and your gang, you're leaving.
His words were a challenge, a promise of retribution. Eliza laughed, a cold, humorless sound.
You think you can walk in here and tell us what to do? This town is ours.
In a flash of movement too fast for the eye to follow, he drew his Colt. The sound of a single gunshot echoed through the saloon. S1, it never was. Eliza gasped. The smirk was wiped from her face. She stared down in disbelief at the smoking gun in Sam's hand. Her own gun lay on the floor, untouched. Sam had disarmed her with a speed and precision that defied belief. The Rattlesnake Riders, stunned into silence, watched their leader fall. The reign of terror was over. With Eliza McGraw out of the picture, the Rattlesnake Riders scattered like vultures. They knew they were no match for Sam Colt. They rode out of Dusty Gulch, leaving a trail of dust and the faint echo of their fear. The townsfolk, initially too shocked to react, erupted in cheers. They had witnessed justice served, swift and decisive. Their savior had arrived, not in shining armor, but with a Colt revolver and an unwavering sense of right. Sam Colt, the man who single-handedly liberated Dusty Gulch, didn't stay long to celebrate. His work was done. The town was safe. He mounted his horse and rode out as quietly as he had arrived. The townsfolk, gathered in the street, watched him go. They wanted to thank him, to shower him with gratitude, but he was gone, disappearing into the horizon, leaving behind a legend. The story of Sam Colt, the mysterious stranger who faced down the Rattlesnake Riders, spread throughout the West. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, justice can prevail. And what of Dusty Gulch? The town flourished. The fear that had gripped it for so long dissipated like smoke in the wind. The townsfolk rebuilt their lives, their spirits lifted by the courage of one man. They would never forget Sam Colt, the legend who rode into their lives and rode away, leaving peace in his wake.